Morning, everybody. Let's hear a good morning on the count of three. Everybody. 1, 2, 3. You're asleep. Ready? As loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. Good morning! 1, 2, 3. Cool. I'm very honored to be here. My name is Evan Nisselson from LDV Capital. And as Gabriella said, we're going to talk about opportunities with images, video, computer vision, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. A little bit of background on myself. I've been investing in fantastic people like you all to build companies and hopefully avoid my mistakes and do the things I did well as an entrepreneur for 18 years. I've built 4 visual technology businesses, and I'm also a professional photographer, of which many of the photos you see will be mine. So for example, we invest in people. People build businesses. People make money. People hire other people. It's not the company. It's all about the people with deep domain expertise. Visual technology is defined by any tech that captures, analyzes, filters, monetizes, displays visual data, whether or not it's gesture recognition, augmented reality, virtual reality, medical imaging, search. All of these autonomous driving would not operate without cameras. So think about it not just as a photo or a video, but visual data. Here are a couple examples of some of the companies that we've invested in. Most importantly, as an early stage investor, we get in very early, and our goal is to help these companies and the teams raise follow-on funding. Fortunately, we've done that with some great partners that you know some of the names. Mapillary is an example. We also invest in Northern Europe and help those companies come to the US. Not just Northern Europe, but also this region, Eastern Europe. And that's why I'm here, to find great companies and great teams. But what's the most important thing? All of you have to figure out. We heard it earlier on the fireside chat. The most important thing we need to know is, what is our goals? You can't succeed unless you know where you're going. My goals are to solve problems, be creative, have fun, and most importantly, make money while we sleep. Okay, that's the beauty of the internet. We build tools, we build solutions to problems, and hopefully people are using it while we sleep. Very different than a store that opens at 9 a.m. and closes at 5 p.m. Now let's talk about Internet of Eyes, as Gabriella said. 90% of what we do every single day is visual interaction with people and things. As AI and computer vision evolves, enabling computers to do things that humans do, 90% of that is going to be related to visual data. Cameras are going to be everywhere. They're going to be in your clothes, on your eyes, in the fabric here, in the rooms. But that's not the goal. The goal is visually communicating and better understanding each other. Visual content is valuable. We know that. We capture pictures every day. We share pictures. But what's more valuable is visual trends. Okay? What is the trend of multiple images together or multiple videos? Why now? Why has it changed now? And many of you probably know this. It's real-time access to content, computer vision, machine learning, AI, and a cloud infrastructure that allows us to scale as quickly as we want. The last company I built was in mid-2000s, and there was no cloud computing. Things have changed drastically, obviously. And the interesting thing is we can look at a couple pictures. It takes a couple minutes. But computers can look at millions and billions of pictures and videos in seconds. That's a huge opportunity that's revolutionizing all business. And the opportunities, as we mentioned earlier, it's all in visual signals. But what is a visual signal? Let's take a step back and see how we've evolved. As a photographer, my camera bag has changed drastically. It started with a Nikon F camera out of the 1960s. And then it went to the Sony Ericsson. In 2003, I wrote an article that said camera phones would replace point-and-shoot cameras. One of many times people thought I was crazy. And whenever they say I'm crazy, that means there's an opportunity, and I think it's actually really going to happen. So if people say you're crazy, it'll never happen, double down and do it, because that's when it's really going to happen, when they don't have the vision that you do. Here's a great example. In 2006, I was photographing with my Nikon F in my right hand, but the Sony Trio in the left hand. So a photo of a photo from a camera phone. The Nokia 95 with my parents when I'm getting a shave. Or the headset cameras. So all these cameras, think about the evolution of what's coming next. One of the things I can't stand is the selfie stick. It's really annoying that you hit people when you're walking around. But what I can't wait for is my satellite selfie, okay? Because what's going to happen is the satellites, you're going to be able to touch a button on your phone and take a picture of yourself like this, or grab your friend and look down the camera that way. We don't need to carry cameras, okay? They're going to be everywhere. And I love that because I don't want to carry a camera. There are moments that we walk through maybe a station or an airport and people are photographing us for security. I want those pictures. Why can't I have those pictures? Then, of course, the Retina Cam, right? It's actually been patented by Samsung, and Google are working on these things. These are real. When will they happen? I don't know. But I just took a picture of you after blinking. That is real, and it's going to happen. The question is not if, it's when. But what's the most important feature in your phone? You know, it used to be that we used phones to talk. But Apple promotes just the camera. It's the most important aspect of our camera phone. You might not believe it, but it's actually because we visually communicate. We don't go to the dentist and call mom and say, hey, I'm at the dentist. We send a picture, okay? But what's evolving is now we have 2 cameras in the back of the iPhone. Soon we're going to have dozens of cameras, and soon we're going to have hundreds. The whole thing is going to be a camera, okay? It's going to be taking pictures in real time. You can turn it off, but why turn it off? Because it's all about capturing our lives. It's about understanding. Okay, to date, most everything's been 2-dimensional online. But let's talk about when is it going to be 3D? We're starting to see 360. Okay? But it's not just now when it started. In 1996, the first viral CGI video covered everywhere.
Deep inside of me, girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
So this was took us by storm. I was working in Silicon Valley in 1995. And this took off. And it was a first realization. I don't know if anybody remembers it. Does anybody remember when that kind of did? Okay, there are hands up. Now we're going to move this. We're clicking, but it's not going, folks. They warned me about this. So the baby has done something to the computer. Voodoo. I think you're right. You guys can manually switch it if you want. I'll keep talking. You didn't catch that photo. Okay, got it, thanks. Okay, so we're talking about 3D. I mean, do people want to, now let me ask you a question. Who wants in the audience to see 3D rather than 2D photographs? Do you think you're going to enjoy 3D photographs more than 2D photographs? Raise your hand if you think yes. So it's about half of you. I don't know the answer. It's going to be a mixture. But in order to have virtual reality and augmented reality work, we need content. And content, I still believe, is king. What's hard, though, just like in the mid-90s when websites were hard to build, virtual reality content and augmented reality content is really hard to create. It's the early days, just like the 90s for the internet, for virtual reality. But the key is it's going to get easier and easier, like all the other tools that got easier since the 90s in building a website. It used to take days. Now it takes a couple minutes. And unique aspects of the cardboard or others, these are my parents, they finally got it. They saved this out of the New York Times and said, Heaven, what is this? They put it, oh, this is virtual reality. I get it. And it's happening. But what's also interesting is our relationship with our phones. You know, we know this situation. We interact with it every day. You know, he's staring at his phone now. Everybody's looking. There's 3 over here staring at their phones. It's our day-to-day communication. But what's going to happen really soon, I'm excited for, is it's going to change. Because of 3D, we're going to start going like this. We're going to start moving around, and you're going to see people on lines bumping into people because they're trying to interact with their phone. It's going to be really wild. Dangerous, but bizarre. Okay? I mean, actually, I was doing this, and I started bumping into each other, and they're trying to show each other this, the different pictures. Because, as you know, you move around. I almost fell off my chair sitting at home once. I was looking at a video, and you never know what's going to happen. Let's talk about Internet of Eyes. It's going to be bigger than Internet of Things. Imagine the data we capture now and organize and filter. Okay? The data of having cameras everywhere will exponentially grow. Every inanimate object in this room, in our society, will have something of a camera. It might not take a photo, as we know a photo, but it'll take visual data and deliver signals. What's a signal? So, for example, in this photo, it's a photo I took many years ago at Coney Island. 2 adorable kids in a helicopter. But that's one signal. I would like to know from the history of a dozen photographs that the kid on the right is actually very sick. And the kid on the left is helping her feel better. And why is she sick? We know from the photographs and the messages in the history of somebody's album. Or the history of our interactions with our friends. This can't be done without computer vision and AI understanding that. Think about the different layers of information. You think of a photo as a photo, we smile, we're sad, we have a memory, but there's so much more data in a photo that talks about location, colors, where's the taxis going, where's the satellite imaging. All of these signals are hopefully going to help us be healthier, help our businesses evolve, and connect with customers, and hopefully make money while we sleep. Health. Health is a pretty important thing. If we're not healthy, we don't live, we don't exist. Sometimes we forget that until we get sick. But let's talk about health for a second. Legacy medicine sticks things all inside and around us, but why not just put a camera in your stomach? This is a real camera that you swallow. Imagine the data coming out of our insides. It's a little scary. But it's going to travel around, and it's about the signal. When that camera is traveling around, it's going to say, we have cancer, or we have an issue with our liver, rather than a doctor guessing. The knowledge of not just one body, but millions of bodies analyzed by computer vision and artificial intelligence to understand what the important signals are. And if you think about it, probably 99% of the data that this camera or other cameras will capture are meaningless, have no value. The challenge is that 1% of interesting information that can hopefully help us be more healthy or productive. There's actually a patent for that is a camera, which is exciting but also scary, obviously. Inanimate objects, so something we see every single day, a boring mirror. Okay? Every day you talk to the mirror. Maybe not with words. You look at it. I'm fat. I'm skinny. I am hungover. I went drinking with Mike Butcher last night, and I'm having trouble on stage today. Whatever that is. But what it's going to evolve to is it's going to give me a signal. You're 2% healthier today, Evan. Thermal, gas sensors, all kinds of sensors will give me a score. I can't wait for that. Okay? Why is it that I have to go to the doctor once or a year or once every 3 years? I can understand my health from the mirror in my bathroom. We can see heart rate from a camera. Okay, more opportunities. Robots. Historically, robots cannot see. In the future, they will see in order to do everything. They will not act unless they can see. So this is the legacy robots. These are new robots. This is a robot that goes through an orchard with about 6 different types of cameras and lasers. And it says, where are the apples? Is the apple ready for picking? This is just one vertical of what I think is the exciting landscape of visual technologies. Every business will be empowered and disrupted by visual data. And not just the data, it's the high-level signals in that data, from smart people like you building computer vision and AI to analyze that data. Robots in the home. It'd be pretty dangerous if this robot could not see the kid and you know, instead of, you know, flipping the omelet, flip the kid. You know, that would be a problem. Without an eyes on that computer, without the computer, that robot analyzing with computer vision, it doesn't know what's out there. A camera without computer vision and machine learning and artificial intelligence is no value because you have to be able to adjust. So when that kid drops the watermelon on the stove and it starts smoking, the robot has to react. Other types of robots. You know, this is a delivery robot of a new company. But how is it learning to go along the street and going around the old man with a cane? It sees. Automobiles. People don't think of autonomous driving as needing cameras, but they would not operate without cameras. Usually there's many cameras, from laser to radar to actually legacy small cameras. Biometrics. I would love a car to say, Evan, you had too many whiskeys last night. You should not drive, okay? And probably get upset when that happens, but it's probably going to keep me safe. What if you get in an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi and your app actually starts blinking red? Your driver is hungover or drunk, or your driver is angry. Maybe you should not get in this car. That's a real valuable signal. The driver's probably not happy, but that is valuable information that cameras can deliver in real time to improve your life. In order for autonomous driving cars to work, in order for Google Street View to work, cameras are capturing the streets. It's a company, Mapillary, that I invested in. It has a community of thousands, tens of thousands of people around the world that have cameras in their car, cameras on a bike, or they hold a camera, and in the back end, the computer vision is stitching together automatically a view of our world. If you see on the right side or the left side there, each data point is a signal, and each signal has value. Let's look at another type of signal. This is a security camera or a camera tracking the street, but what's really interesting is the camera can count people and say, you should put that store on a different corner because there's more traffic of teenage girls on their phones that want to shop at your store. The computer knows who is where and will hopefully add value to commerce. Think about combining a couple of these signals. How about combining the satellite imaging with sentiment analysis to know, hey, more people leaving one store are happier with bags, and people leaving another store are sad. That's a very valuable signal that a business can improve upon. We've got thermal imaging. Thermal imaging plus cameras in an office. One of the most important things in an office is, how do architects decide? They all say it's like art directors. They know the answer. Oh, this is a better design. Oh, this is a better working space. And they either have a mixed relationship with new data. But what if they could see exactly where people are congregating in the office? They spend the most time here in this little corner where the water is, but there's not enough space to socialize. So they should redesign it, leveraging visual data. In addition, it would be able to put, in the wintertime, the heat on or off if it's too hot in one area. When all of a sudden you have 20 people going to get their coffee in the morning, that area should be warm rather than cold, and it can be automatically done. Once again, cameras being everywhere is not the goal. It's very similar to, we talked yesterday on a panel, it's very similar to funding is not the goal for startups. Raising capital is not the goal. The goal is a means to an end. What funding do you need to reach your goal? Okay? And for me, it's not about privacy or security or other aspects. It's about how can we visually communicate better to help each other, help our businesses, and hopefully improve our lives. It's just the beginning. One of my favorite phrases, carpe diem. Let's collaborate to solve problems and improve our world. Also, make money while we sleep. We've got time for questions, and I have an exercise if nobody has questions as well. So questions, yes?
Hey, so
Hi.
you said Internet of Eyes will be bigger than Internet of Things.
Yeah.
And Internet of Things is famous for not